Hey everybody, it's Count VHS. Welcome to some Shogun 2. We're going to start a new campaign with the base game. And let's see what we're going to try here. You know, I'm thinking I want to give Mori another shot. This is the first faction that I, completed a campaign with in this game. And I did so because I think they caught the most flack online. These guys seem to be the one faction that no one has particularly strong feelings about in terms of, like, defending their honor or their ability as a faction. Like, you'll find, it's easy to find people saying that, they love the Shimazu, they love the Chosokabi. Well, I don't know about Hojo, but, Date has their Nodachi guys. There's lots of Oda fans. It seems like everyone thinks that Mori is one of the worst, at least on, some of the videos and things that I've seen. And, if there's one way to get me to do something, it's to tell me that it's the suboptimal option, because then I will be all over that, looking for some opportunity to actually you. And that's kind of what I did with the Mori. I found that they were a lot of fun. Part of it is, to me, the sea battles in this campaign are still a novelty. And, coming from the older Total War games in which naval battles were simply not a thing, I like that they were in here. I don't, I guess I don't get yet why everyone thinks they're lame or whatever. So I kind of enjoyed them. I like the idea of a faction kind of focusing on them. And some of their units are actually really good. They're not mentioned here, but there are the sort of the Wako Pirate Raiders or something along those lines, a swordsman unit who is actually kind of fantastic, it turns out. So I really like the idea of this faction. So we're going to try them again. Now, I will say that, if you're looking for a legendary how to beat Shogun 2, how to be the best player, how to be fast on the battle map and all that, this is not the channel for you. I am a slow player in a lot of ways, and this is a game that I'm still kind of learning on. And I've only ever played on normal. And I don't know that I super want to change that, Like, I've found that my first campaign with these guys, I wasn't prepared. I was doing a short campaign because I thought that was the thing that you do. And then all of a sudden I was in Realm Divide, and it was actually a great time because I was completely surprised. And I had to fight my way out of it. It was just, I felt like giving up multiple times. Got in, debt. Well, I guess you can't get into debt in this campaign. You can get down to 0 and just take forever trying to actually make money. But it was so fun. I had rebellions, and I eventually clawed my way back and won the short victory on normal. That was sort of my blind playthrough of Shogun 2. And I've tried a few other factions, since. I've tried a little bit of Shimazu. I've done a substantial Chosokabi campaign until it got boring. I got Kyoto and then figured, I don't feel like getting the last 10 provinces or whatever. And then Date, I'm currently doing a Date campaign that's going quite well, all on normal. Maybe I'll go up to hard. How about that? We'll go up to hard, and I know that the thing is, I know that the AI gets these bonuses, right? And at a certain point, the thing I don't like about the higher difficulty levels is that it seems to change the way you have to play. So that certain builds, certain units and rosters become really unfeasible, and so it kind of pushes you into a particular playstyle. It's kind of like the best analogy I can think of is like if you're playing Skyrim or something on legendary difficulty, it's almost like you have to be a sneak archer, because you simply can't just starting from 0 decide you want to be a low armor barbarian, two-hander or something. Or if you do, you've got to really cheese the AI. And so that's what I'm seeing when I'm watching people play this game on, like, Legendary, which seems to be the default thing on YouTube, right? You've got to play your campaigns on the hardest difficulty. There are things that they have to do which involve, kind of cheesing the AI, playing what seems to me kind of a slightly unrealistic way. I like the immersion of these games, right? I like the feeling of pretending like I'm back in this period, and not looking at it so much as a gamey thing. So that's why I like the sort of the lower difficulties, because quite honestly, I'm handicapping myself in lots of ways anyway. I like to do things in these games that are not optimal. So maybe we'll try it on hard just so I can get a taste for what that's like. And I don't know, do I want to do short or long campaign? Long game, it feels like there's quite a leap between these. Short campaign, it felt like you were really rushed, right? Because as soon as I started conquering, like, I think I got 15 provinces or something, and that was when Realm Divide hit. It was ridiculous. So yeah, let's go with a long campaign, because I would like to take my time. I'd like to take my time to get up to the better units this time with the Mori. So let's just start the game here. I am not going to do the sort of restricted battle camera stuff. I've tried that before. I know that it does add a little something, but it removes the slow-mo camera option, which is such a shame, because that was a cool little feature. I don't know if they added it for Empire or if that was new with Shogun 2, but I need that, right? I need to see my guys doing stuff in slow-mo, because otherwise the battles in this game are over very quickly. It is super fast battles. I mean, even it's kind of on par with like Rome 1.
1545. This is Sengoku Jidai, the age of the country at war. For 200 years, the Ashikaga shoguns have ruled from Kyoto. Great splendor and power were theirs. Now the overmighty clans no longer obey. The time has come for a new warlord to become Shogun. But who will be victorious? Mori lands have always provided for our people. Our enemies are many and envious. They threaten our borders and look for any weakness. Others work the land. We are sea masters, our ships the envy of all. The waves are unforgiving. Mori sailors have strength and great skill. Skills passed down from father to son. They make us strong in war. Shamonten, the war god, has woken. Now is the time to defeat our enemies. All will bow to the Mori clan. We wait no longer. Destiny calls.
Alright, now I have turned off a lot of the voices here because they were annoying to me. Okay, so, but basically the storyline here is we've got the Amako clan as our enemies. And let's see. Okay, so they defeated us at the capital. We were compelled to return to Aki to consolidate and rebuild our forces. Our defeat will not stand. It must not. The Amako must be dealt with, and soon. Alright, let's just get back into it. So our first mission here, repelling the Amako. Frustrated in our attempts to invade the Amako heartland with our Ouchi allies, we have been compelled to return to our home province to consolidate our forces. The Amako have been quick to avail themselves of this situation and are now invading our territory from the north. They must be repelled at once. So we've got our sort of standard first turn little battle here against some rebels, and we're going to get an extra 25% wealth generated by buildings across all provinces for, I guess, 4 turns. All right. So here we are. Welcome to Shogun 2. If this is kind of new to you, I mean, it's new to me, right? I did not play this game because I never got into Shogun 1 until very, very recently. And at the time, I was sort of on a Steam boycott, right? When this came out, Steam was relatively new. I had been playing Total War games since 2002, I guess. That's Medieval Total War, and then Rome Total War, and then Medieval 2 comes out, was that 2006 or so? And then they announced the next Total War game is Total War Empire, but it's going to require this thing called Steam, which means you have to go online and, be online or something. And there was DRM, and there was this big controversy around it, and I didn't like that at the time, and my internet was terrible. And I also wasn't super interested in the period of Empire, and so that was a great opportunity for me to get on a high horse a little bit and be like, well, I don't even want it. I don't even want to play Empire. And then Shogun 2 came out. I was like, well, that's fine, because I never played Shogun 1. And then, Skyrim comes out, and I said, well, okay, I guess I need to buy Steam or something. So anyway, eventually, here we are. We'll see how this goes. I love this game, actually. I am not a huge, aficionado of Japanese history, but I have been learning a little bit, and I just love the aesthetic of this, the UI, everything about it. This is really clearly a labor of love, and if you haven't played it because you're not super interested in the period, maybe give it a shot anyway, and you'll become interested in the period. And this is one of those games that can really encourage you to learn about what you're playing about, because it's so well put together. So here we are, the Mori. Now, my understanding about them is that the game presents them as kind of piratical, right? Like in this game, the sea stuff is very much emphasized, and you get some kind of special ships. You get some special pirate forces, from what I understand, the land military guys. Let's see. We won't get them for a little while, but if we get the port building built up, eventually we're gonna get some Wako Raider types. So we'll have to, I think, get a sword school, and then we'll get our good port for that. But in the first game, in Shogun 1, they were not really presented that way at all. In part because Shogun 1 had no naval battles; it was just land stuff, and you didn't do any sea trading really. There were ports, but there were no ships in that game, no ships at all. And in that game, the Mori were presented as the kind of the warrior monk faction. That was what they got a bonus on. And so it's interesting that we do start here with a holy site, hallowed ground. And last time I played them, I didn't really know quite what to make of this. I think I went with, let's see, so this gives you monk bonuses, but I never get into monks. So I must have gone the morale route, right? This gives you +3 morale for all land units recruited in this province, and then this is where I got my Wako Raiders out of. Maybe that's not the best move, but I'm kind of torn about this, and what I kind of want to do here is go Christian. I didn't do that last time, and I think I'd like to try it. Like, you're right here, you've got the opportunity to invade Kyushu, right? And take a lot of these provinces, and some of them will already be Christian because you've got the Otomo over here spreading it around. So that might be an interesting opportunity. But on the other hand, there's this historical connection between the Mori and the Iko-Iki, right? So these were the guys who were causing trouble for the Oda, right? Oda Nobunaga, as I understand. And Mori were kind of supplying them with ships. And so Iko-Iki is maybe that's where the first game gave the Mori their sort of warrior monk discount. But I don't know if that should be viewed as like sort of intrinsic to them, like they were super devout, or if it was simply that they were opportunistically using another clan to defeat the Oda or to try to work against the Oda. So, regardless, we'll sort of play it by ear here. Using my provinces to the sort of their optimal is something that that I will need some help with, maybe some advice. So please don't hesitate to give that to me if you've got experience with the game, or even just want to see something cool happen. Now I think this is a pirate place, right? I think this is probably the better place to get my pirate guys, but we'll have to explore. Our first order of business is to defeat this army, and we've got a couple of guys. Now the thing I remember about this guy, yes, is that he's got the Night Fighter trait right off the bat, and he's 48. Now, in my first campaign as the Mori, he lived into his 70s, and so I honestly wasn't sure if your daimyo will die of old age in this game, right? Does that happen? I don't think I've ever had it happen. I haven't played long enough, I guess. But I'm a little worried that he will. Regardless, Night Fighter seems like super helpful. You can go into, like, that's how I got Kyoto the first time, right? I was able to, I think, use him and just assault the city while the big army standing right outside was just locked out of the fight. So that's a great trait, so I kind of want to use him and level him up. But at the same time, maybe I don't need to depend on him too much, and maybe I should work on leveling up this general. That would make the fight a little more even, and that's probably a bad thing. But they've only got 4 units, and I've got 5. Let's just do it. Let's get into a battle and see how that's going to run on my system here. Yeah, we'll do a little coward quick save here. Okay, we're very evenly matched, but it is on hard battle. Why does it say failed to host? Huh. Did I not... Did I leave the, like, search for a drop-in thing toggled? I think I'll need to check that. I've never had that appear. And I mean, I'm playing offline like I always do, so... But anyway, we'll see. I'm a little concerned that hard is going to be super annoying, but I'm aware now that evidently you can change the battle difficulty mid-campaign, but the campaign difficulty remains the same. So I'm curious what that's going to do. I have noticed that the AI has been, even on normal, very aggressive compared to my prior experience. And maybe we'll talk about that compared to my experience with other Total War games. This is absolutely ridiculous fog. I think I'm going to fight in it. This seems really stupid. Let's listen to this one speech. Yeah, I really don't know how the mists are going to work to our advantage, if at all. Like, does the AI similarly have trouble seeing us? That's what it's implies. Okay, we've got our Yari Ashigaru and the Yari Samurai. I like to have them on the flanks. And we've got our one archer, which the game does not put them on skirmish automatically for some reason. I'm very used to that being the case in my Total War games. Yeah, let's just go here. They're probably going to want to be on this hill, right? There they are. Yeah, they're going to immediately race for that hill. And they've got a unit of light cav, which can probably kill my general. Alright, and they're probably going to beat me there. But we can get our Yari Samurai over. Maybe that's way too early for a rapid advance. I honestly don't know. But they've got, you know, 2 Yari Ashigaru and 1 Bow Ashigaru. Alright, they're coming right down. Okay, so I hit Yari wall, but they're still running. That's kind of unexpected. Alright, are we gonna get in there?
Our general is in grave danger, my lord!
We are attacking. We're in melee. Alright, our Yari are going off to the left. I would think we would be pretty good here. Alright, they're backing away. Alright, let's just get right out of this. We'll push the archers back. Alright, here comes their Yari wall.
My lord! A glorious victory will soon be yours!
Alright. Everyone's shattered, I guess. And so we're going to get the screen here, I would think. There we go. Let's just continue. I guess I'll send you to chase those guys. The Cav are probably off the field. We'll get the Bow Ashigaru. We'll get our general some experience. I'm not quite sure how experience works. Like, I'm sure you get it for the fight. He's got 0 XP progress, but... Okay, it's going up. Alright, I get it. Well, that's really cool. Alright. I never really watched this little, little sidebar on the right here update in real time. Dang, okay, so I could get this guy leveled up if I kill enough people on the route. Alright, I'm getting it. And I assume this XP that he's getting, is that the same thing as the campaign XP, or are they separate? Like, does he, is this just for getting a chevron of experience? And then that's totally different for, like, if he leads the battle. Alright, well, I mean, he's not leveling up here. Let's just speed it up, though. Okay, I guess that's it. We'll quit the battle. Decisive victory. I don't know how much the fog helped, if at all. It seems like the AI knows where you are, or they know where they want to go regardless. So they were beelining for that hill immediately. I'm trying to remember the bonuses. That seemed reasonable, though. Like, that didn't seem different from I would have expected, how I would have expected it to go. Okay, so they may have started with this. I'm honestly not sure if they gained this during the battle. Let's see. Okay, so we succeeded there. We repelled them. And it just required us to defeat the army. And so this is the Amiko, and we were allied with the Ouchi, but I remember, yeah, something's going to have to happen here. Right? Like, we do want this. We do want the horses. And this is fine. I think this has maybe some fertility. There's a port, though. We do want that. This is a very important one, actually, because you can really easily control the strait. And just having a bunch of guys right here just makes it easy to train ships and defend that strait. Okay. So let's pursue him again. Do we want to fight another battle here? I think I just want to auto-calc it. Let's just do that. It seems so straightforward. I guess we lost a few guys, but it doesn't seem worth going into every little battle, right? Alright, there he goes. So he gets some experience. And let's see. So yeah, you don't necessarily want to go too deep into this stuff, is my understanding. Because all of it is just personal to his general's unit. Now down here, where you get an increase to the size of the bodyguard, that's where it could be useful, right? So maybe there's a scenario where we do want to level up like one young general, like this guy, to get ultimately down here so that he can have like a full cav unit that we don't have to worry about so much. It seems like a lot of effort, though. But I kind of like to balance them out in the first go. You can't get anything down here yet anyway. So, let's see. We could just... And melee defense, I don't know how important that is. Let's do a bit of both so he can get a bit of campaign bonus. And get him a retainer. Ooh, Heroic Ashigaru. I think that's more generally useful, at least for the early days. And this is very situational. +1 command during ambushes. Yeah, let's go with that. And we could almost go for Iwami. But let's back off, and we will retrain, or replenish a little bit. Just a couple of turns there. Iwami has gold, so this is the one you want to get as soon as you can. Let's take a look at our finances. So we're making 1223. Start off with a Bo Kobaya. Okay, I should have used this immediately to go and get like this trade resource. Let's do that. Instead of wasting movement points going back to the port, we should immediately go out there. We will also be able to use this to uncover other clans so that we can, trade with them a little bit. So let's actually jump into diplomacy first. And I see people doing this too, like selling military access and all this kind of stuff. I don't like doing that. It feels a bit cheesy. It doesn't feel like something... It's not that it's cheesy. It's just that it's something that I don't see this... I want to roleplay a little bit, right? So it doesn't make sense that like some clan we've never heard of who doesn't care about us would love to pay us money for the privilege of marching across our lands, which they will never do. But this is the faction that we are at war with, and we can tell they own 3 provinces initially. So actually, that's good to know. I'd forgotten that. So we don't want to rush for this too soon, maybe. The only problem is that the Ouchie may go for it if we don't hurry up, so we will want to train some stuff. So we can kind of lay claim to Iwami. We're allied and trading with the Ouchie, and we can trade with another faction, the Kikuwa. Now, they're right here in a province that I want for myself. So maybe I'm going to wait. They're friendly, though. I mean, this is the thing. Like, there's these guys who are right next door to you who, it's like, I'd love to,
especially in these times.
I'd love to get their land without hurting my diplomacy, because they're friendly, So we can't trade with the Otomo. All right, Kikuo. Let's see. What would you pay for trade?
Welcome, friend. There is much to discuss for our mutual benefit.
Nah. So like. Oh, okay. They want an alliance.
Of matters of import. I have a proposal to make.
I don't know that I want to do that. All right. Let's just back out. We don't have too many options yet. Another couple of turns, we'll be able to do some different stuff. So let's take a look at what we can upgrade here. Definitely want to go for food at some point. Probably like, immediately. But we only have 2,000. And roads are really good too. Alright, let's just definitely do this. If I'm going to go for this soon, I should destroy this, right? I'm not going to train a Yari Samurai. I should destroy it, get a market so I can get a Metsuke, so I can at least, like, see what's over here and up here. But let's retrain some units, or train some. So we've got one archer, and, you know, I want another. Yeah, we'll go with that. In terms of building, and that's it. We don't have much money. Damn. All right.
Deal for whittling down the enemy before battle is joined. These troops are best kept at range and will suffer heavy losses if engaged in melee.
Alright, there's a video for everything in Shogun 2, it's great.
Provide excellent defense against enemy cavalry charges, but their tight formations leave them vulnerable to missile troops and skilled infantry units.
Alright, I'm sure this is probably way too quiet for you. I wanted to turn down the volume so that it wasn't fighting with my voice, but do let me know how this is coming across. I can make some adjustments. So, okay, Master Shipwrights wants us to master the... Oh, right, I forgot to even do some research. My gosh. Now I'm behind. That sucks. Oh, no, it already started me off. Okay, good. Good guy, Shogun 2. Thanks for helping me out. Bushido's fine. What does it want me to get? Way of the Sea? Yeah, you definitely want to get all of this stuff, but the thing I never got to with the Mori was because I was playing a short campaign and because I didn't know how fast you should go, I went a little too fast and I never got the chance to tech up to, like, gun stuff. Or even spend a lot of time with cavalry or other units. I kind of went swords a little bit, and then, like, I just mostly did that and some ship stuff. So yeah, we'll stick with Bushido, but I've got to do Way of Chi before I can make a market, but whatever, we'll stick with it for now. Alright, let's get my army. I think I want to take everybody for this fight. We're not going to make it here, and we can't see quite what they have, but, alright, 1644. Because we can't build a market yet. Should I go for a ninja instead? Go for a sake den? Should I do it? I mean, happiness is fine, right? Oh, no, actually, it's kind of not. Let's do it. Let's go for a ninja. And I will recruit another couple of units. And then we'll head up to the port. Let's see, we're going to probably, yep, we're going to uncover the Otomo. Well, we already knew about them, but Shoni, so that's the new faction. We've got to also think about, you know, building ships. Got to upgrade this port so that we can get a trade ship, but we'll just go up there and hold on to the trade node anyway. What's that? Is that horses? Alright, so we're studying strategy of defense. We want to change that. And, okay, so capture Uwami, and then we get call to arms, which adds a recruitment slot. So, awesome. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. Here we can use our Night Fighter if we want to. Now, this is just a Bo Ashigaru unit, so it's probably not necessary. And what do they have? One garrison unit, it looks like. Alright, before I forget all of this... High Seas attrition. Great Clan destroyed. Tokugawa. Dang. Alright. Now, if anyone wants to explain that video for me, that'd be great. I have no idea what was going on there. I've seen that happen, you know, several times. It's like it's a review of his clan's bad decisions. Is that what I'm seeing? Like that he was he the ninjas who was attacking, or was he the guy who was ambushed? It seems like the ninjas got the bad end of the stick there. All right, well, be that as it may, Tokugawa is no longer around. And it looks like we can get this node. Yes, okay. We'll just sit right on that. And down here, we don't have enough money to get the trade node. That's going to change. I think I will go ahead and build roads here. And not train anything. But before I forget, the thing I wanted to do was to check this, because the game, I'm glad in this case that it started researching something for me, because I just forgot. And I was going to do this anyway. Here it is, yes, Mori Raiders. Awesome, awesome unit. This allows me to get the sword school, and then I think I need a military port to train them as well. But it does kick over to often the worst techs. Like, it's always going for stuff that I don't want if I just leave it automatically, if I forget to set my own thing. So in later games, they added a little annoying prompt that says, "Are you sure you want to end the turn? You don't have a research queued." And I do hate that, but let's get Way of Chi, I think. Oh gosh, what's my mission here? Masters of the Sea. We need to research Way of the Sea. Yeah. Okay, so there's no time limit on this. And then this gives me a 25% reduction to the cost of ship recruitments, which is fine. So I don't need to really rush this. It's going to take 3 seasons for that, 4 seasons for that. I mean, this is good. Night battles for all fleets. Really amazing. I don't think anyone else gets this. Is this just a Mori thing? I think it might be, but I almost never look at this tech when I'm playing another faction. Anyway, I think we want this, because I definitely want to mark it in Iwami, like, really soon. So let's go for that. And then we'll see. We'll see. It's like you want everything. Okay, now, do we want to do a night attack? Because this is all they got. I don't think I do. Let's try a good old assault. Now, I almost never play out assaults. They are my least favorite kind of battle. I play out siege defenses because I feel obligated to. But siege assaults, I always feel like I'm getting way worse results than the auto-calc would. But we'll see. I've got, what, 2 archers here? And I guess the thing to do is just march them up to the wall, start firing inside, and then bring up your other units. So let's just deploy. That's fine. We'll skip the speech this time. We've got our 2 generals. And the reinforcements are going to come from somewhere. And it's a bow unit, so I could just have my cavalry go over here. Like, I could have this guy, right? I don't think he can hide in the woods. Probably not. But I'll just have him here, and maybe that's a horrible idea. But he can be over there fighting. Alright, let's just go straight forward. Are they coming from over here? Yeah, right over here. No. I mean, I think they should be. Alright, because this is east. Oh, they're down here. Alright. Alright, let's just rush for it. I'd like to get them not in the woods. And what do we have here? Yari Ashigaru, Bo Ashigaru, Samurai Retainers. Okay. So let's actually, are they smart, right? Like, are they going to move their archers over here? Got our our Yari guys. We could also just send them forward. Okay, I said I wanted to get into the trees, so that's not going to work. Let's see if we can drive off this unit. This is hard difficulty. I've got to remind myself that. It seems like we should be able to. Do they have XP? Maybe that's what that little flag indicates. Okay. 126, 120. Going pretty good. We've lost one man. Alright, I think we got it. Okay, they're moving the Ashigaru over here. That's fine. Alright, awesome. Yeah, so he got a chevron of experience, and he's on his way to getting a second. I just really like the aesthetic of this UI. It's very smooth. It is just easy to use. My one complaint is that on a campaign map, I don't think there's any way to count how many units are in a stack. And so I am always having to count, is this 19 units that I've got here, or is this a full stack of 20? I don't know if there's any easy way to figure that out. My God, if there is, please tell me. If there's an easy way to determine, you know, if how many units are in a particular stack, because that would just make my life so much easier. I'm always just, is this 18? Is this, do I need 2 more here, or 3 more, or is this a full? Now, I don't know how much sense it makes to bring my Yari spears right up here. Right up into the face of the bow Ashigaru. Alright, we're getting close to... Let's just give an attack order there. Let's bring him over here. Let's make him split their focus. And then we'll do a rapid advance and try to get up into this. I really like the Yari Samurai. Like, I know that it's sort of an an understanding that you want Yari Ashigaru. And the Yari Samurai are useless because they can't do the Yari Wall. But they can do rapid advance, so that helps. Speed and charge bonus, so it's not just that it makes them faster, it makes them more effective fighters, and it also makes sense because these guys are samurai, right? They're not masked conscripts who are told to like fight as a single unit. They're fighting out here for glory and stuff, so they're not gonna, you know, turtle up in a shield wall. They're gonna get out there and earn glory, right? All right, we've actually killed quite a few. This is probably not the best target, right? We should be aiming at the Ashigaru, but that's who we're going to hit with our Yari Samurai. They totally dodged those arrows. That was... Alright, we've taken them down by about a quarter. Alright, let's have you get up towards the walls. You can get up here. Climb up this wall. We'll do it at like different speeds, I guess. There are probably better ways to do this. Alright, let's have you run. And they're not doing a good job of protecting these guys. Couldn't they just go under cover here? But they're at less than half strength now. And wavering, in fact. Alright, maybe we don't even need to rapid advance. I think if it helps their climb speed, that might be cool. I'm not sure that it does. Let's just send them up. Alright, so they're getting up here to meet my Yari-Ashigaru on the walls, but yeah, they're wavering already. 10 out of 60. Let's see how we do. Alright. They got 2 men left. They're still fighting. And we're doing alright. Getting up the walls here. I don't know if we can fall from this height. I think you can. Yep. You definitely can. Okay. But one thing I heard about the Mori Wako Raiders is that they do not fall off of the walls. Alright, let's go fast. Let me get up here quick. Oh, they're shooting right at us. Oh, they're shooting at... Are they shooting at the general? No. Okay, let's see if we can send them to attack, because we're just going to get slowly whittled down here. We can at least get them to drop their bows, right? Nice.
My lord, a glorious victory will soon be yours.
They're probably getting a ridiculous friendly fire. I didn't order them to fire into this mass, but they're doing it anyway. I guess it's fine. We'll replenish, right? Alright, Ashigaru, we're wavering. Alright, let's just speed it up. Siege assaults are just a slog, too, right? And when the conclusion is kind of foregone, you know. Are we gonna get that last little guy? Okay, I think that's everybody. And we got it. So that's Iwami. I guess one concern is that there's a big stack coming, because there probably is. The AI on harder difficulties gets bonuses to training, so they get more like recruitment points, I guess. I'm not sure if that's the case on hard, or if it's just a very hard legendary thing. But I'm going to sort of play as though they are capable of bringing more stuff than I can train. Alright, so we'll definitely peacefully occupy here. And now we've got an extra recruitment slot everywhere. So that means we could, I guess we could train 3 units out of this in a single turn. Which, I don't know if that's necessarily what we want to do. We don't have any money, so we can't do that now. But alright, so there's nothing right here. But the AI can move very quickly. And the thing that I found in my first campaign as the Mori, once I hit Realm Divide, was that, like, I think it was the Ikko Ikki who was just tearing through my territory. I thought, okay, I've got like 6 provinces along the northern coast here. And then one of these will fall, but they're going to pause. Like, they're not going to go immediately through this. But no, they did. They'd take the province in one turn and then immediately move on to attack the next. And there was just no slowing down. It was crazy. And that's just not something you see in the older Total War games, at least very frequently. So I was actually impressed. As normal difficulty, the AI was really seeing that I had a string of weak provinces and just going for them, just barnstorming right through. So it was a lot of fun to see that, and I imagine it's only going to be worse here on hard difficulty. So we can't afford to build anything yet, but in a turn or two we'll be able to train a market, and we don't actually have to repair anything. That is actually great news. So we're just going to sit there, replenish for a little bit. I guess I can move up the units here. It might be a good idea to do that. Alright, there's the Ouchie. And there's the, is it the Awari? Whatever their name is. Alright, Sake Den and improved irrigation in Aki. So we are all set with that. Awesome. Still not enough to build a trading port, but we can get ninjas at least. So let's train one of you. I don't know if you have upkeep. And it is kind of a lot of money now that I'm thinking about it. Alright, but we're similar to them. But yeah, you see what I'm talking about. Like, I could count each one of these lines, I guess. But there's nothing here on the UI that indicates how many units are here. I would have to go 1, 2, 3, right? So I know I get 3 archers, I get 4 Yari, Ashigaru, that's 7. So I get 10 units here. It would just be nice if there was a little number 10 somewhere. Right? And where's my armies? Okay. Does it say how many men? How many units? This is the number of men. This, I get information about the daimyo here. But yeah, nothing I'm seeing tells me how many units I've got, which is, it seems like kind of a big oversight. Okay, so that means, like, because everything's fine, we don't need to wait if we want to recruit more units. Alright, I think we want a ninja.
Where darkness meets the shadow, there dwells the ninja. Saboteurs and assassins, happy to do their lord's bidding.
Alright. So he's ready to go. Next turn, we'll send him over to do something if they haven't assaulted already, but I'm sure we'll have a nice target. So for this, you know, we can't get a market yet, can we? There it is. Okay, so next turn we will. So we're just going to have to wait. I remember Iwami being basically just a finance province. So this is where I want the Metsuke to come from. And just sort of sit here and build and train him up as an overseer so he can increase the income. That's my understanding anyway. I haven't like verified this in the game, but from reading guides and stuff, there's a wonderful guide written by Frog Beast Egg, if you are familiar with her. She was very active on the TotalWar.org forums about 20 years ago and did a lot of guides and just a really great contributor to the community. So Frog Beast Egg's Guide for Shogun 2 is a great resource, just giving me some nice little lore-friendly tips. You know, it's not like, here's what you do on turn 1 with every faction. It's like, here's how the game works. Here's what the manual could have been. Now, I know there's an encyclopedia in the game. I can't get this thing to work, which is such a shame. Like, if I right-click anything, this is what I get. And so I don't know what to do about this. It gives me no information, right? And that's unfortunate, obviously, because there's not a lot of documentation for the game. You know, when Shogun 1 came out, when Medieval 1 came out, you had full, thick manuals, like physical manuals that you would get. You'd bring it to work. You would, you know, be able to read it on a break and get a sense for how you were going to, you know, play the game when you got home later. It was a wonderful time. And then people kind of stopped doing that because, I don't know why. I guess production costs, I guess the time involved, I guess the fact that you're going to update the game, and so any information in a manual may be outdated. The idea that, you know, online communities were growing in the early 2000s, and then people probably figured, well, if the fans are going to write their own guides, maybe we don't need to do it. Which is all, I guess they're all fair points, but it really, like, how am I supposed to figure out all of these things? I learned Total War games by reading the effing manual. I didn't learn them just by jumping in and trying stuff, necessarily. I learned a lot of things by reading, right? So, for someone like me, I can do it. Like, I eventually learned how to play Attila that way, just by playing, because there was really no manual, and the guides were kind of all over the place online. But I miss the days when you could read a sort of authoritative, here's how the game works, or at least how we want it to work. And so you can kind of play in your initial stages with a manual. Anyway, Frog Beast Egg's Guide. So what do I want to do here? I've only got a little bit of cash, so it's probably good to spend it on cash, right? I think roads would be a good one. And I can't do both. This would also be good. Let's do roads because it's not going to help growth right now. But it is going to help move units around. And I may need to do that, including my ninja. So I think it is worth it. What do I have up here? All right. I mean, I could get... Let's get a 4th archer. Yeah, I'm a little worried that they're going to come in with a big army, take it, and then the ouchie's going to come in and take Iwami from me. Okay, so now we can get a market. Alright, we're training Zen. I don't want that, necessarily. I mean, at some point, I might, in my capital, want to do that, and maybe wait on the Wako Raiders until I get a pirate haven, if that helps, which I can't remember if it does. Alright, I probably want to go like this, and then get here. But this is also, I mean, I am hurting for money right now, so I'm going to want the decreased upkeep. That's going to help with my ships, which I am going to get into at some point, and then I get the second. Oh, this doesn't help me get the second farm. That's this. All right, but that's okay. This is gonna be on the road to that. Okay, so Mr. Ninja, let's send you over. And we're gonna check out Izumo. I don't remember that this had anything super great. It's a farm, probably a port somewhere. But this has is this craft work? Pottery. I can't remember, but you know, a lot of these are worth getting for various reasons. But this one in particular, I think. So I will want another agent over there. Okay, so happiness is actually growing. I don't have any units in here. Let's go for the market. So that's going to give me just an even 200. I mean, I know farming would be nice, nice up here as well, but I can't afford it. Oh, Ashigaru, got roads in Aki, nice. All right, and so next turn we'll actually use our ninja, and man, money feels a lot tighter. I thought once we got the gold province, we were gonna have everything all set. All right, threat of attack. Kikiwa. Whoa! How did we hear of this? Once friendly clan. Oh, perfect. Okay, that's actually kind of nice. I mean, in that if they attack us, we are not the bad guys, right? And we can take this province. So they are planning to attack. Cool. All right. Let's get the ninja over there. I'm still more worried about these guys. What I'd like to do maybe is get peace with them for a little bit. Yeah, they got a port. There's a big army. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they get 10... 14 units, and I've got like 11 here. I mean, I could train up 3 more units real fast, but I feel like I'm gonna need them down here if anywhere. All right, how about, let's see what sabotage would look like. The odds are really low. 34%. Sabotage the gates. That's okay. That's actually better odds. This will kill a few men, which doesn't really matter, I don't think. Sabotaging the castle gates field. 42. Let's do it. Alright, success. Nice. So he is almost leveled up. So let's see, what did that do? Yeah, it killed a few men. Oh, they've got improved accuracy. How do they have that? Oh, they got an archery dojo. Maybe that's... I don't think that by itself gives them improved accuracy, but that's a little unsettling. All right, and also the fact that these guys are going to invade, because we've got nothing here. So we sabotage this army. What I'd also like to know is how far could these guys march, because I have a feeling if they wanted to, this army could get here next turn. And so I don't want to leave Iwami undefended. Jeez. And, you know, I kind of want to build to... So this gives us extra town growth, so that's money. But I think early we want to go farming. And let's see what we can get out of here. Inside the castle, we've just got a single unit of samurai retainers, so we want as much as we can get. I think that's all we can afford. Yep. Oh my gosh. Kikuwa. Yep. Okay. So they are... We're going to call the Ouchi to help. I guess that's good. They could march over my land and take the province I want. Or if we lose the capital, which I'm afraid we may, then the Ouchi may take my capital from me. But whatever. Oh, man. Okay, so we've got the ninja up here. I think I want him down here because he's going to have a much greater impact against these guys, I hope. Because this faction has 2 provinces. The Kikuwa only has 1. Oh, they've got 2. Oh, damn. Okay. Oh, this is no good. I think we gotta sally out and defeat these guys, but that means leaving our settlement. Okay, so we'll move the ninja in. We're going to establish a spy network. That's going to get him a little experience since he can't move farther anyway, right? Yeah, and then we'll just remember to get him out and move him down here next turn. I think we will take all of these units and attack. Oh, gosh. Ah, come on, man. I was hoping to recruit everything out of here. So what if I remove this from tax? Alright, that's just a lot of my money, but I think I have to do it for a turn. Alright, let's go here. Oh my gosh. Alright. We're outnumbered. Now, I don't know if this does anything other than prevent reinforcements. Reduces visibility and line of sight for both sides. So, like, I don't really want to do that where I've got a bunch of archers. Now, he's got an all-Ashigaru army. We've both got 2 generals. I've got more experience. This should be okay, but I think what we'll do is we'll leave this battle for the next episode. We'll open with this. We'll see if we can get out of this battle, then move over, maybe take that province. But maybe we're not ready, you know? Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I'm not ready for hard difficulty in Shogun 2. Alright, let me know if you got any advice. Hope you enjoyed. Take care until the next one.